Carrying as a controller can take insane knowledge and creativity. The best way to put a team on your back as smokes is to big brain your team to victory rather than just clicking heads like a duelist. Except outthinking your opponents requires a strong intuition of where the enemies are and how you should react. In this video, I'll review some crucial rounds from Bugsy's Smurf commentary on our website where he single-handedly changed the outcome of the game. Bugsy is a Radiant level Astra main we've been working with to bring you more premium guides on the channel. We'll focus on how to refine your game sense, consider the situation to make impact plays, how to correctly switch up your defense if you're losing, and how to correctly use Astra's ult. Take note that we're going to be focusing on Astra in this video because that's who he's playing, but these tricks with smokes can be used on any controller agent. The first major skill that we should be working on with Astra is your game sense. This means understanding what you should do to help your team the most and being able to predict where the enemy is and when they will peek you. Game sense is important to play Valorant at a high level, but it's pivotal to play Astra at any level. Astra's global star placement and activation is her biggest strength. However, it's only a strength if you fundamentally understand the game and can use the knowledge to gain foresight on your enemies. In the third round of Bugsy's game, he used his knowledge of Valorant to single-handedly win them the round. Let's begin with his first blood. I'll let Bugsy explain what he's doing here.
Take mid. I'm gonna put down a smoke for Cat, and then here I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna smoke Cat, and I'm gonna recall this mid smoke. We might be able to catch someone in the open who thinks this is a full smoke. See, exactly like that. You can see how well that worked out there.
That play worked because he recalled his stars in a common smoke spot. Knowing this, he knows that his enemy will assume that it's a full smoke, and they may try to reposition behind it now that their sightline is blocked off. As soon as he gets an opening trade in mid, his mind immediately goes into defensive mode. He goes to hold B because by glancing at the minimap, he can see that he has two teammates in mid and one in A main, and the only spot that they could possibly push and get killed from is B. Moving on, let's look at how he brought back the 2v4 in this round. The first thing that he did was get aggressive. Given that they are down a man and have been defending a mid push from the rest of his team the whole round, he can make an educated bet that he can now take a 1v1 at B. Isolating players is the key to bringing back deficits. In this case, it worked even better than expected, and the 1v1 that he found himself in was against a player holding another angle. After both Brim and Bugsy get kills, he immediately knows that the last two players are far based on who they killed. This allows him to set up for a 2v2. He decides to put up an ult that sets him up to isolate the CT rotate from the market or B main rotates. Because of this, he's freed from watching A heaven and he's available to hold the lane cross where he gets a free kill. From there, it's a 2v1 with no info. After clearing CT again quickly, he knows both where Sova will need to enter site from and where he's safe to go into astral form. Finally, his team uses all of this info to hold the correct angle and place util to impede him. And before we move on to the next round, if you guys are looking to see Bugsy's commentary throughout the full game, that is all available on our website. Let's take a quick listen.
So let's play mid now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this one star. This isn't for really trapping anyone. This is for letting me get out. If I'm gonna play left or right, the star will let me fall back to market if I ever need to. And then I'll just put some stars for my teammates.
If you're looking for more gameplay from top Radiant level players teaching you how to carry in your games, be sure to check all of that out at SkillCapped.com, link in the description below. But let's get back into the game. Round 11 of his game will show you the importance of sound and situational awareness in Valorant. Let's start with the sound cues in the round that let him have a massive impact.
So right now, the reason I'm waiting, I still hear this Killjoy util. As soon as it disables, I know I can go. I don't like this right now. We knew the Killjoy was here, so there's no reason to push that like that.
When he and his teammates push up in A main, they can clearly hear the Killjoy turret to the right of sight. This turret tells them that Killjoy hasn't fallen for the fake that his teammates were trying to pull at B yet. His Reyna clearly didn't realize this yet, but because he did, he was ready to trade her out and got a free kill. After the trade, he knew that his sight was clear because he had been paying attention to the minimap and who his teammates were dying to. This is where situational awareness is key. He had a free sight, but little other info. He could have tried to plant the spike here, but the rotates would probably be close, and he might have gotten stuck because of this. Especially given the fact that one of his teammates was also so far away stuck in mid. So instead of planting, he decided to make the unexpected play of pushing past the site and managed to catch two rotators incredibly off guard. I wanted to highlight this because this play is almost always a bad play. Except in this instance, it worked, although the Cypher did miss a trade on the enemy not looking at him. Anyways, it worked because he had been aware of the situation and realized that he could push past the tree or cat player and catch their players off guard when they were holding Cypher in mid. In Valorant, it can be easy to go into autopilot where you're always just making the play that is the most obvious, decent idea, Realizing timings and gaps can allow you to make excellent situational plays though that win games. Sometimes when you find a good decision, there can still be a better decision. Following up on this idea of going into autopilot mode, let's look at the final round of the game. Bugsy got a 3K off the flank that they didn't expect could be there so fast. One thing that could always help, especially on defense where teams tend to be more static, is changing things up to catch the enemies off guard. Going into this round, they had lost 4 straight rounds in a row where he was holding mid passively. The other thing that you'll notice is that they rarely ever took mid.
Let's use that.
Okay, let's try something else since we've been doing this mid stuff. Here, let's go aggressive mid. I'm going to show you a good aggressive setup. So if I put a star here, I'm going to do it late in the round, obviously not to show them, and smoke this, and I'll put a star here to suck this so they can't really peek top mid. And then I'm going to push and try to get around here. That angle should be a very weird off angle for them. And my stars also do the thing.
Maybe they'd send one person to hold or lurk, but they hadn't gone mid as a team. The other team's tendencies combined with 4 straight losses is why he decided to try a hyper-aggressive play in mid. After the Jet kills his Reyna, who they knew was his cat player, he decided to push the smoke, and his reasoning was this.
And then I'm going to push and try to get around here. That angle should be a very weird off angle for them. And my stars also do the thing. They even scare people a little of peeking before you even pop them. So I know there's a Jet Opera here, and because she's an op, I should be able to push through the smoke pretty safely.
As expected, their op was rejoining with their team and gave the angle allowing him to flank. Just to clarify, by no means is he saying that the answer is just to hold W. In his case, he supported the play with his stars. He stopped the top mid peak with his suck and smoked tiles, letting him clear close. The moral being that if your defense just isn't holding anything, don't just go passive and hope your team starts winning fights. Instead, you should think of how you could switch your holds up. Switching it up could take the form of aggression like what he did in this round, but another good option is to switch where your agents are playing. For example, maybe a Sage Wall could stop a team from rushing sites, or a Phoenix Flash could catch them getting ready to take their utility out. Also, coordinating any switch with your team will almost always give better results. Finally, let's examine opping and another Astra ult. In this clip, you can see that he keeps a saved op from the last round at the beginning. Because he has the operator, he's going to decide to take the fight in mid and he will eventually win it. However, even though he won this fight, I'd advise strongly against using the operator on Astra.
Take some mid control back.
Enemy spotted mid.
Generally, I don't like picking up an op as Astra. Not because smoke opping is weak. I mean, it's weaker than Jet, but opping with Astra is very weak because, like, look, if I want to suck this, I have to disarm my op. So, really not worth opping on Astra.
Now that we know why he dropped the operator, let's take a look at how he uses the wall to guarantee a 1v1 win. Astra Wall is extremely strong if you can force the enemy to push through it. You force them to gamble which side to look at with no information of what's behind it. Therefore, you already have the upper hand. Then, if you camp one of the corners of your wall, you can watch the entire plane while also blocking the enemies who try to enter the corner where you are. Luckily for him, that's exactly what this Sova tried to do, and as you see, he gets body blocked by him in the wall, causing him to be essentially flashed by it. If he had instead tried to push anywhere else through the wall, it's already a 50-50 if he looks the right way, and you'll see him first, so there's no way that Astra could lose that fight. Thinking back to situational awareness though, this depends on which agents the enemy team has left alive. A Phoenix or a Skye could easily flash through it, rendering this idea useless. But hey, remember, if you're looking to stay up to date with the common trends in Valorant, as well as see what a top level player like Bugsy looks like when he's carrying, then you can see this full VOD available with the commentary as well in the description below. Our website is also backed by our rank improvement guarantee, meaning that if you don't see the improvement that you're looking for, it's literally no risk. Come join over 500,000 satisfied members, improve that KDA, and get the rank that you've always wanted at SkillCapped.com. After seeing how we managed to carry the game by making impact plays though, I hope that you were able to carry your matchmaking teammates just a little bit harder. By continuing to work on your game sense, refining your predictions of where you expect your enemies to be, and changing up your setups when they aren't working, you will be able to have a larger influence on the outcome of your games. And as always, we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.